Live, up and down the coast, from the beaches to the valleys, your news channel starts right now.
He asked yesterday, can $1,000 pay to get us a new house? It's like...
More heartbreaking scenes today as families up and down the coast return to homes damaged by extreme flooding. We have live team coverage of the cleanup and recovery efforts right now at 6. Good evening, everybody. I'm CJ Ward.
And I'm Beth Farnsworth. We begin with a look at the storm's catastrophic impacts in our area. We have live team coverage up and down the coast. Dave Alley is in Santa Maria.
John Palminteri is live in Montecito. Krista Kirkjian is in the First Alert Weather Center. But first, let's go live to Patricia Martellotti on Santa Barbara's east side. And Patricia, are things starting to dry out a little bit there?
It's getting very dry. I met with several families near the east side of Santa Barbara, including a 6-year-old who's struggling with the muddy sidewalks. Check this out. You'll know what I mean.
So you took your shoes off?
Yeah. Yeah, and I tried to jump over him, and I slipped in the mud puddles.
As little Evett Kirby walks around town barefoot, neighbors are facing their own struggles from this week's massive rainstorm.
I think all the electronics are wet, so it won't start. And I mean, this truck was just full of water.
These neighbors along Spring Street are working together, trying to help their friend's car situation. The results? Some soaked registration papers and a dead car battery. Still won't work?
It's still not working. We don't want to spend more money on changing any other things.
While the rainstorm has been highly anticipated for days, neighbors say they just didn't expect this much destruction.
Caught us off guard, you know. I mean, usually when it rains, it gets flooded. We put the cars up high.
Yeah.
But it just happened so quick.
Those neighbors whose homes are located higher up the hill say they're doing okay, but not for Christina Munoz, who woke up to all kinds of water damage to her home, including a broken washer and dryer.
My little cottage. Damage.
How are you feeling?
I feel terrible.
Neighbors say it's going to take several days, weeks, and in some cases months to recover from the damages caused by this week's rainstorm.
Our backyard was underwater.
As for this weekend's rain, those along Spring Street are planning to be more prepared.
Get ready. Just put some bags over there so we can, stay dry.
The next rainstorm is expected this weekend. For now, live in Santa Barbara, I'm News Channel reporter Patricia Martellotti. Let's send it back to you in the studio.
All right, time to check in now with Krista Kirkjian, and we know that we've got mostly clear sky out there, but we also have some big clouds.
Yes, we do have mostly cloudy conditions. There's a system to the north of us that gave a little bit of rain for much of our mountain communities and for parts of San Luis Obispo as well. But at this time, generally clear conditions out there, and we are expecting much more of the same tomorrow. We are expecting more sunshine than what we had out there today by tomorrow morning. Really nice break between systems. Things are set to change this weekend. By Friday is when we get those clouds right back, along with that chance for scattered showers for much of the day beginning in the afternoon. So temperatures currently out there nice and cool. Things are actually warming up tomorrow to accompany the sunny skies due to offshore flow. Rain in the forecast this weekend. I'll break it all down for you coming up. For now, back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Krista. The search for a 5-year-old boy swept away by floodwaters in SLO County is back on tonight with more help.
And for the first time, we are hearing from his family. News Channel's Carl Cook spoke with the boy's father, who is holding out hope.
Since we haven't found him yet, it's still difficult because we don't have any closure, or we just don't have an end to this part.
It was just another Monday morning for the Doan family. Just before 8 o'clock, Brian Doan got a call that would change everything.
I get the call from some lady, and she puts on my wife, and she's just beside herself and saying, I can't find Kyle. I'm like, what? What happened? And I know that if they could have reached my son, they would have done so. And my wife just happened to be closer to them. And when she was able to reach out to the rope that they were able to have, and the flow, my son was farther down, and they saw him, he was face up, he was floating face up. But they couldn't get to him because the reality is that you cannot run along a bank when it's not solid ground and reach to somebody. they got to my wife, and I'm grateful to him for that. But he liked people, he liked to dance, he was very outgoing, active. He had a splinter fracture in his femur last year in preschool because he ran and he tripped and he fell, and he was able to he had to have a rod placed in him at the Children's Hospital in Madera, and he had it in there for over a year, and he was able to adapt. He played soccer this last fall, and we had to get it out. We had to wait until November, and he got it out, and he really, after a couple of weeks, he really wanted to go back to normal. My wife and I were very appreciative of the support that they've gotten here in the San Miguel community, the Paso Robles, and up in King City. It's been very nice. It's been very gratifying. And so we're blown away. It's hard to process.
In San Miguel, I'm News Channel reporter Carl Cook.
And you're going to see heavy equipment and crews for quite some time as they clean up all the storm damage.
And News Channel reporter John Palminteri joins us now live. And John, you spent the day in multiple areas today, and it is a full-scale cleanup.
Yeah, we have been on the move from the hills of Montecito to right next to Highway 101, a couple of areas of Goleta. We end up tonight in Santa Barbara, where some of what's going on there could end up here someday. Crews are digging in to dig out all that debris and rocks and trees and all of that out of the way as fast as they can now before the next big storm arrives. After Monday's stunning rainfall event on the Central Coast, we can now see the rock-throwing, water-gushing force that came with it. This is the upper San Ysidro Creek debris basin that blew out 5 years ago in the debris flow disaster back then. This time it filled with tons of material, but held its banks.
The main goal is to make sure that water flows through and that this captures heavy material. And so we're doing everything that we can.
The county of Santa Barbara is checking these basins on the ground and with flyovers. Some are filled or nearly filled now, with more rain coming. But the basins are different sizes, including the newest one at Randall Road, built on land that lost houses in the last big disaster. It's proved its worth. Look at all the rocks and material it held back. In these areas, it's not as easy as scooping and moving. What needs to be decided is, can they move this sediment out of here without the big boulders? Because this is the material that'll be going down to the beach. And that's where hundreds of truckloads of material will be going. Already they're coming in from the hills to dump dirt in the ocean at the scoured section of Goleta Beach. This work accelerates the natural flow.
What we're doing is merely helping the process along a little bit to make sure that sediment gets there quicker.
They're so quick to start working here right after the storm, given how extraordinary the storm was. So all things considered, I think things are pretty good.
One critical spot and a race against time is where creeks have come over the banks near Highway 101. Another big gusher in sections that are stuffed up, like here in Montecito, and the freeway could be shut down with the mud.
We definitely need to get in here, get this material cleared out so that we can reduce the potential for future flooding.
Crews will be working long hours to open up clogged creeks and keep the water flowing. The list of work is massive in the waterways and on the mud-covered and damaged roads. And I can tell you that the workers I've seen and have talked to, they have their game face on. Many of them have gone through this before. They have their playbook, they know what to do, and they're trying to get it done as fast as possible to protect lives and property. Reporting live in Santa Barbara, I'm News Channel reporter John Palminteri.
All right, thank you for everything, John. Santa Maria Valley farmers are cleaning up and assessing the storm damage there.
And News Channel's Dave Alley is live near Santa Maria. And Dave, how are the crops handling all this rainwater?
Yeah, crops for the most part are said to be looking pretty good here in the Santa Maria Valley. And as we know, after having Monday washed out entirely due to all that rain that came pouring down throughout the day, business has returned back to normal for the ag industry here in the valley. Farmers are out in the fields. They were earlier today and yesterday as well, making sure that the land and the crops are doing okay. Now, farmers and everyone here in the Santa Maria Valley woke up to an early morning rain earlier today. It did dry out though just about after the 8 o'clock hour or so, and that dry weather that did return this afternoon and later this morning. A welcome sight for those in the ag industry. Now, local farmers are reporting, again, for the most part, area crops have held up thanks in large part to meticulous pre-storm planning that has been days, weeks, months, and really years in the works. A series of drainage ditches and pipelines. Those move in and out of the ag lands, I should say, and those are designed to move the water away from the crops as quickly as possible. With the storm and the forecast for days, farmers, they were able to make sure all of those were in proper working order, that is. Now, with some dry weather here this week before the next storm arrives here this weekend, work right now is being done to get ready for more rain that's coming here in the near future.
We try to assess what's going on. We try to make moves to get plants in the ground and then to try to put in repairs as far as structures or pipelines or ditches.
We're taking advantage of the break. You'll find that now if you drive around the area, you'll see a number of crews out taking care of the plants.
And did see a lot of that today. Now, while some farms are reporting very little to no damage, others are saying that they are experiencing significant issues caused by this week's storm, such as crop or infrastructure loss. Now, assessments at those farms and others are ongoing to determine just how bad some of those short-term and potentially long-term damages could be. Now, the rain, as we know, once again is coming up here in the forecast this weekend, and hopefully we'll see rain as well through the next few weeks and months as long as we're here in the winter and the rainy season. So the farmers here, again, they're making preparations so that they limit any potential future damages. Reporting live in Santa Maria, I'm News Channel reporter Dave Alley.
All right, thank you for all of your coverage, Dave, during this storm. We will have continuing live team coverage of the storm and its aftermath coming up on your News Channel. In the meantime, you can get updates anytime on our mobile app and website at KEYT.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We have team.
We're getting a closer look at the damage in Orcutt. One neighborhood was heavily impacted by flooding and a sinkhole that opened up Monday on Union Valley Parkway.
News Channel reporter Christina Rodriguez spoke with a family today whose home was severely flooded.
Alex Rosario and Craig Cullen from Orcutt are one of the families whose home was destroyed after a sinkhole flooded their property.
The water's rushing through. We have my son in his life vest, we have my dog, and I have a bag. So each fireman got something. I asked them to take Luke because I didn't want, if anything happened, I didn't want him to go.
Alex and her 7-year-old son were home while her husband was stuck in Ventura County because of storm-related highway closures. Alex's mother says it's upsetting, especially for her grandson.
My grandson is he just kind of keeps crying and he won't let his mom out of his sight. And it's kind of scary when you have everything and then seconds later you have nothing.
Flood water inundated the family's home and cars.
With the way it was rushing in and how fast that water and that mudslide was happening, I didn't realize that my house would be the focal point. I knew there would be damage. When we came back, I was like, nothing is salvageable.
7 homes were severely damaged in the storm. Other neighbors impacted by the sinkhole flooding are also in need of shelter.
I know a lot of these people their insurance is denying helping any of them. There's a family up the street that has nothing. She's a single mom. Nobody's helping her.
Now, Alex is doing her part to help other families find rentals, clothing, food, and essentials.
The 7 houses have each other. So I'm not so much focused on my home. I have my family, and that's all that really we can do right now.
Locals have created a GoFundMe page for anyone who can donate and help these families. You can find the link on our mobile app. In Orcutt, I'm News Channel reporter Christina Rodriguez.
Just so heartbreaking to hear these stories, and weather-wise, good news and some negative news as well, given all the rain that we've had, Krista.
That's right. The good news is that we have more of a break tomorrow. Today, we did have mostly cloudy conditions that lingered over much of the area, but by tomorrow morning, better clearing, plenty of sunshine expected by 8 a.m., but things are set to change again this weekend. The good news is that the rain ahead is not expected to be nearly as powerful as what we just had days ago. The chance for rain returns Friday around 3 p.m. We are expecting light scattered showers over much of the area. Not much rain at all on Saturday. We are expecting a good soaking in the afternoon between about 2 p.m. and on. However, the good news is that this is a fast moving system. We are not expecting nearly as much rain as what we had just days ago, and the chance for rain does linger into early next week. So just how much rain are we expecting? A good amount, but not nearly as much. Once again, up to 1 inch to 2 inches for much of the area. For higher elevations, a bit more is expected. So high surf remains a concern, even though we've said goodbye to much of the rain. That high surf advisory will be in effect until 10 p.m. on Friday for the beaches of San Luis Obispo County, Santa Barbara County, and Ventura County. Waves are dangerous at this time. While they may be beautiful, if you want to get out there and watch them, make sure to keep a healthy distance to ensure your safety. So due to more offshore flow, we are expecting temperatures to slightly warm up tomorrow. 66 degrees in Santa Barbara, 65 in Montecito, 64 in Summerlin. And as we make our way up, much more of the same. 66 degrees in Buellton, 65 in Santa Ynez, and 63 in Orcutt. Paso also warming up to those low 60s. And as we make our way down to Ventura County, you'll notice we're right below 70 degrees for much of the county, including El Rio, Camarillo, Santa Paula, Oxnard, Port Hueneme, and Ojai. City of Ventura expected to get up to 66 degrees tomorrow. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast, beginning with Santa Barbara. Conditions nice and mild tomorrow. That chance for rain returns on Friday, and then this weekend, rain showers expected on Saturday. Showers linger until about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. We do hold on to some cloud cover, but dry conditions are expected. Santa Maria slightly bumping up those temperatures tomorrow to the mid 60s, but as soon as that rain returns, temperatures cool right back down to those low 60s and upper 50s. Santa Ynez, very similar pattern here. Warmer tomorrow thanks to that offshore flow. Chilly and rainy on a Friday. More rain in the forecast on Saturday, and we stay in those upper 50s for several days. Lompoc, 65 degrees. Clouds and sun tomorrow. Showers return on Friday. Rain and wind on Saturday. And once again, that chance for rain does linger into Monday. San Luis Obispo warmer tomorrow, but then we cool right back down to those upper 50s by the weekend. Ventura, that weak Santa Ana wind event tomorrow, keeping temps nice and warm and comfortable. Mid to upper 60s expected, followed by low 60s, upper 50s, and rain. We'll be right back.
All right, let's get one last look at the weather with Krista Kirkjian.
So we do have a break from the rain. Today, mostly cloudy conditions for the rest of the evening, but by tomorrow, we are expecting a much better clearing. Take a look. No clouds expected tomorrow morning. A nice break from not only the rain, but also all those clouds, but things are set to change over the weekend. By Friday afternoon, we are expecting that chance for rain to return, followed by much more rain on Saturday. The good news is that the rain is not expected to be nearly as powerful as what we just had days ago. I'll break it all down for you coming up at 6:30.
All right, thank you for that, Krista. Thanks for joining us live.
We have more local news coming up in a few minutes with Beth and Scott. Stay with us.